Hello, I'm Bobby Hawk, and I'm running for re-election to the Blue Springs Board of Education. Each Friday, I've been bringing something to you, the voters, to discuss questions, concerns, or issues that I see with the Blue Springs School District in hopes of your support and vote on April the 5th. Today, we are only a week and a half away as we share this from the election. And so I want to hone in on something that I've noticed throughout this process, in this election process, and really even beyond. It started before, it'll extend beyond, but I want to discuss the difference in a critical eye and a critical attitude. Now, Dayton Moore, the president of the Royals, he was at our church back when he was the general manager of the Royals. And he made this statement at one point. He said there's a difference between a critical eye and a critical spirit. He used the term spirit. I'm going to use the term attitude because he was really referring to attitude. He said there's nothing wrong with watching baseball with a critical eye. And even when you're sitting at home questioning the decisions that a manager might make in a game. But when that shifts to a critical spirit, when it goes from just simply the critical eye, this is what I would do different, to a critical attitude or spirit, that's a whole different level. And he addressed that and he applied that to life. And I think that applies to where we are right now in our education system in the school district, where things are on social media. So I just want to address that. And I want to share some concerns that I have, but also some hope that I have as well. First of all, I think we should continue to always look at our educational processes with a critical eye. Critical eye simply says, how can we make things better? How can we improve? How can we address certain issues that need to be addressed in the school district? School board members certainly have to look with a critical eye. Teachers have to grade tests or papers with a critical eye. And parents, of course, are welcome and probably should be encouraged to look with a critical eye with the idea of how can we do better. But oftentimes that critical eye can turn into a critical attitude. It can go beyond how can we do things better to simply complaining. That can result in a lot of online keyboard warriors. For example, throughout this election process, we've had a couple of forums. And earlier this week, we did a teachers forum. And then that night, we did a PTA forum. And some of the members of the PTA were there and they asked questions. And one of the questions was, how have you served or volunteered in the school district prior to your service on the school board? And then the question was framed with, it's hard to get volunteers in PTA and in our schools. And I've reflected on that since. I was able to share about my volunteer opportunities prior to the school board, and I was grateful for the question, but I've really thought about the difference in service and surveillance. It seems like we have a lot less people willing to serve, to make things better, and we have many more who simply just want to be surveillance online and share their critique, if you will, or their complaints. And I think that's where a critical eye shifts to a critical attitude. I think it's, instead of being part of the process, helping bring change, identifying the positives and the things that need improvement, it just shifts to a very negative focus and a negative attitude. And negativity breeds more negativity. Certainly negative people seem to attract to one another and they seem to feed off of one another. What I hope we can do in the school district is take the advice of what I heard as a young man, and I heard several times since from one of my mentors when he said this, that it is better to focus on the creative and the constructive over the critical and the corrective. Yeah, there are times we need to be critical and we need to watch with a critical eye. But the best way we bring change is through being creative and constructive, by taking the things that we see and then applying ourselves to the process to make them better. So I applaud those PTA presidents. I applaud those who are involved in the schools and serving, because really it's serving that helps make our district better, not just surveillance, not just online comments and complaints. I applaud our community for looking at things in a critical way and asking questions, sometimes tough questions. But I also applaud those who are willing to be involved and help be part of the process and lead change. So as a school board member, it's my responsibility to look with a critical eye. But I want to do my best to not allow a critical eye to turn into a critical attitude, because you as the voters, you deserve better than that. You deserve school board members who know how to celebrate, because what gets celebrated gets repeated. And then while we celebrate, we certainly look for ways to improve. We critique without complaining. We focus on the creative and the constructive more than the critical and the corrective. We make sure that we keep a critical eye, not a critical attitude. And if we as school board members can do that, if our teachers and staff can do that, along with our administration, and if you as the voters, the parents in our community, if we can all do that, Blue Springs is going to continue to be the best school district on this side of the state of Missouri, the best school district that it can be for our students. And our students and staff, that's exactly what they deserve. I've said this numerous times. I'll share it again. My purpose is very simple as a member of the Blue Springs Board of Education. My purpose is to help staff and students fulfill theirs. Thank you for taking the time. A week and a half from now, you'll be able to cast your vote. So I ask for your vote on April 5th, your support to continue to serve on the Blue Springs Board of Education. And I'll talk to you one more time again next Friday. Have a great day.